I'll start.
Hi.
Hi. Kathie, how do you think you did today? Seemed to be a lot of effort to talk about Mayor Curtis's support for the Trump agenda. How do you feel about how well that message got across, and how do you feel you did overall?
Well, I maintain that you cannot separate Trump the man from his agenda. We wrote an op-ed to that effect and submitted it, and I hope it will be published. But if you look at Trump's core values, they're not really about Utah values. They're not about compassion. They're not about acceptance or inclusivity or any of the things that Utah cares about. And Mayor Curtis has embraced that agenda and said on multiple occasions that he is squarely behind it. And of course, yes, I am going to challenge him on that. He has said that Trump's distractions are different from the agenda, but I would maintain that the distractions are disruptive and that they are indicative of the man himself.
How do you feel you performed today?
I feel pretty good about it. I think that I was able to get my message out, and I hope that people now have even better reason to vote for me.
Doctor, you said that there were checks, that you felt that there already are checks on the Antiquities Act. What are those checks?
Well, I meant more specifically in this case, and of course, with such a short response, you can't say very much. But there's a lot of false information that I believe tends to the Bears Ears issue. And one of them, of course, is that the state was not consulted about the Bears Ears. And the Tribune broke that story. The Tribune released emails showing that there was communication between the governor's office and the BLM. The fact of the matter is that the state had a public lands initiative that failed after a long period of negotiation. And what I've said in other debates, I will repeat here. To me, the most critical issue about the Bears Ears National Monument is that it's about Native Americans. It's what they wanted. They have been treated horribly in all of American history, practically. And I think that their wishes of making this land sacred and protecting it should be honored. It's the least that we can do to give back to them all that we've taken from them.
But outside of Bears Ears specifically, do you think there should be a check on the Antiquities Act?
Possibly there should be. I don't know that it should ever be used in a situation where the president is the only one who wants that land set aside. And I guess the way that it's written right now, maybe it could be interpreted that way. But on the other hand, the Rob Bishop bill is such a curtailment that I couldn't support that at all.
When you talk about your message and look at the polls, your numbers have remained pretty stagnant. Is that because your message isn't being accepted in the 3rd Congressional District?
Actually, I wouldn't agree that the polls are necessarily stagnant. Mayor Curtis's rating went down 8 points. I think that's
I'm
actually...
talking about your poll number.
My poll number went up 4 points. And polls don't vote. And we have a lot of support in this district. We felt it tonight. I'm sure we'll feel it tomorrow on social media. But there's never been a Republican candidate with a poll less than 50% in this district. Furthermore, today, another poll was released of generic, if the election was held today for the 2018 midterms, Democrats are now 16% up from where they would have been.
So
But you're also running in one of the
messages-
most conservative districts in America.
Do you think I don't know that? Do you think that every day somebody doesn't say that to me, honestly?
So how do you overcome it? How do you persuade these people to vote for you?
Well, you give a very good debate performance. You keep saying your same message over and over again, and you stress empathy and Utah values and common ground. And I've always said that there's a lot of common ground that even me, a relatively liberal Democrat, can reach out to people on, and I believe that's health care. The health care debate is changing. Whether it will change by November 7th enough to help me get in, I don't know, but I do believe that we will see universal health care in some form at some point. The education is a big issue for our district. I support public education. I support the teachers. I support medical cannabis being legalized because no one asked about the opioid epidemic today, but it's a huge problem. 150 people per day are dying of the opioid epidemic. We need other tools in our toolbox to deal with that problem. It's a huge problem in Utah. We just went up to number 7 in accidental overdose deaths, and we're one of the worst states in the union. And in this district, Carbon County has the worst problem of all in the state of Utah.
What about recreational cannabis?
I'm not ready to bring that to Utah. Quite frankly, I don't think it ever will come, and at least in the foreseeable future. And my main issue with it is I don't want any substance that's potentially addictive in the hands of young people, because the brains of young people are uniquely susceptible to addiction problems. And even though a lot of studies show that marijuana is not a gateway drug for adults, it may indeed be a gateway drug for kids. And I think we need to carefully think about whether we want to legalize it here, because we need strong, strong protections if we do to keep it out of the hands of adolescents.
With regard to your debate performance, Dr. Allen, at one point you seemed to confuse North Korea with Iran.
Yeah,
What happened?
I did. Just kind of a, brain lapse. It happens. That was the only moment I think that I lost focus.
While you were on the stage, Salt Lake County Mayor Ben McAdams announced he will run against Mia Love. What do you think about that?
Well, I had heard that already. I also saw that recently an organization that rates the polarity of the various districts changed their designation of the 4th district to slightly Democratic. The only thing that I am somewhat sad about is that we actually have so many great candidates running in the 4th district. And I think Darlene and Marla they've been strong candidates. And the addition of Ben makes that a really strong race, and it'll be interesting to see how it shapes up. But I think any one of them has an excellent chance to unseat Mia.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.